It was a beautiful night's sleep here in the North Cascades National Park, and this is where we called home last night. Very quiet, decently level once we jack our front tongue up. The weather though, oh, perfect. Sunny, dry, a little on the warm side, and while there is, you can kind of see it, there's some haze out in the mountains out there. The smoke from the wildfires really hasn't been too bad. Feels great. Does not feel like September though. I'll tell you, we're only a couple days in, so might add up. We're gonna get some things done, and let's go check out the visitor center here. So this is the national park, and you can see how some of the boundaries are a little interesting, but they have a really cool display here where it'll show you, like, say I want to see Highway 20. Where's that? There's Highway 20, and that'll run that way. You can see Mount Chuckson.
This is Mount Baker.
Mount Baker. Mount Chuckson's there. This is a really cool deal. There was another really neat one. Where's New Halem? Where we're going next? Right over there. It's really neat, the 3D nature of this. So yesterday we actually started here in LaConner, and we didn't travel too far. We went out Highway 20. We actually took a really annoying detour here. We went all the way around to Marble Mount because we were told in one of these detour signs that the bridge was out. And I thought it was a bridge that was maybe like over here. I know it was over here, and we needed to go this way anyway, so we had to double back. That was fun. And now we are somewhere right out here.
All the fires are up here, it sounds like.
Yeah, there and north of there. And then after this, our expectation is that we're probably going to about follow 20 here, and so we have a couple cool towns to visit here. Spokane is out in this area, and Spokane's an area that we really try to avoid. So we're probably going to go the north route here. There's a lot of cool stuff. Actually, Colville, we've been there before, and there's some cool stuff to see there. But we'll talk about what makes this national park really important and unique in its own way. But here's a little display about like the ice melting and, you know, the thickness of the ice. This is 1990. 100% of the ice, 1930, 83%, 1960, 69, 1990, 2020. It's interesting because when I'm thinking about that logically, it actually seems like it's kind of going up and down. Like some years with less. It's not quite linear, I don't think. Now this display that they have in here, to me, it's kind of hard to follow, but it does sort of make sense because there's a different, you know, alpine, subalpine.
It's shaped in a triangle, and back there explains that the triangle is like the elevation.
Yeah. And it's also kind of interesting because having grown up here, you sort of take all of this for granted. Just, you know, this is just our backyard, right? But yeah, especially if you're not from this area, you know, they talk about different trees in the forest and some of the nature's banana slugs, very important out here. Now, Washington is famous for its salmon runs and our salmon ladders and such, where the salmon will actually go from the ocean up, you know, salt water up the fresh water. But apparently that's not the only place this happens. Pacific Northwest in general, Alaska, Canada. Actually, I didn't realize that salmon were just that capable. That's a fascinating thing, right? Like they're that
Flexible.
Flexible, yeah.
Adaptable.
Nature, amazing. We have a quick stop to make, and then we're gonna head to New Halem today. There are 3 campgrounds out here, but there are no hookups. We took a little walk through yesterday. To my surprise, you can get all sorts of rigs out here. So obviously, like, we'd fit pretty well. We saw some Class C's and Class A's, and even some big old fifth wheels.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a cool deal. Also, Emma really loves grabbing the maps from each of these national parks.
I could learn some good information in here.
They do have good information. Actually, some of them don't offer them anymore.
No, the new ones don't offer them, which is very disappointing.
Yeah.
And they become like half the size now.
Yeah, but no, you can definitely fit in. I mean, granted, you have to reserve the correct site, I think, but even like a 40-foot fifth wheel. You know, we saw one though that he had one slide on this side of the tree and one slide on that side of the tree. So
you have to get creative with it.
You do, but no hookups, so that's just something to know. Not a big deal, but every national park is different. I just think though, when people say, oh, you can't get this rig in order to fit into a national park, it's not always true. Now, it might just be more difficult, but we don't mind a good challenge. We're gonna stop by the dump station real quick. A nice little perk. Let's empty and refill our tanks. We emptied yesterday, but we need to refill. Someone actually asked to see our whole dump process, and so we'll have a separate video on this because I think that, you know, for people that have done this a very long time, not a big deal, right? It's all basically the same crap. But it is kind of a big deal if you've never done it before, or you're like, hey, how do I do it on an escape trailer, or, you know, something like that. So yeah, we'll have a video on that. We have an older one, but even something like stinky slinky locations and like best practices and things like that. Black tank flush, that's an interesting one. Almost done here. We'll grab water and we're just gonna head up the road, maybe a couple minutes, not even that. Skagit River. That's good. Oh, you can see the smoke. This is the city of New Halem, and this is all owned by Seattle City Light, which is a utility for Seattle and neighboring areas. This train was the only means of transportation, say back in 1919, up until I think they dismantled it in the 50s, the railway. But it was the only way to get out here, because we're a pretty good ways away from, it's crazy that they transport, transfer the energy from friggin' up here, which is, it's a pretty good ways away from Seattle. I don't know, 80 miles?
Yeah,
maybe 90 miles.
like that.
It's pretty nuts. And overall of this train, which is the most impressive part. That's a cool train. But passengers, materials, this would have taken a very long time, and they've been generating power here, I believe, since 1918.
Yeah.
At least there's some differing information on it, but you can see some of the electrical lines. It's kind of neat. And so we got a little bit more information on the fires. There are some burning apparently up in the Canadian side of things, but also we have one that's really not all too far from here.
Which is where all the smoke is coming from.
Yeah, it's pretty, it's pretty intense. But we're gonna take a little walk up here. Whoa. There's the Skagit River again. What a beauty. This really cool bridge over the Skagit River leads us to the Gorge Power Plant. So there's one of 3 along the Skagit River here.
And this is the first one of the 3.
Yeah, we're gonna see at least one more. But this is part of why this region is so powerful and important. Every national park plays its part, right? So wind caves, for example, it's preserving an area that you're really not gonna see probably anywhere else.
Right.
At least not in the US. The Everglades is a completely different ecology. And so that's very important to preserve, you know, that piece of America. But the North Cascades, being part of the Cascade Mountain region, on the west side, you have all the ocean air that comes up. It's very moist, it condenses, and it rains a lot on this side, which is what gives us these amazing rivers and such. But on the east side of the range, it's only about, what, 25%
Yeah.
of the total rainfall.
Yeah.
But you still get that water that leads out there, and that source of water is very important for that region and that ecology.
They actually call the North Cascades the Alps of America.
I always think of like the Swiss Alps.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the reason this is so consistent and we can do hydroelectric here is because there's so much ice melt even during you know, the summer. The summer and the winter, you get the accumulation of water and snow with the temperatures lowering, but also, of course, it still has to drip off and give us a consistent water flow, which explains why it's so green out here. Makes good sense. Now along here, you can see there's a bunch of little bridges, and they also did a good amount of planting, and it really is pretty. There's so much moisture out here. I mean, just, it's easy to take it for granted having grown up here, but the moss here alone is just so saturated. Now here it's kind of looking more yellow than it is green, but it is incredible.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing, right? Is that like when you grow up on the, you know, west of the Cascades in the Seattle area, it is easy because this is sort of what just the whole region looks like. More cement in the cities, but it's sort of easy to take it for granted, but when you travel around and you come back, you're like, oh, it's important for these specific reasons, and you really appreciate it a lot more, I think.
Yeah.
That is a great waterfall. Man. This whole area is just beautiful. Now here in the Cascades, elevations exceed 8,900 feet, which is pretty large. And there are two volcanoes, at least two volcanoes. Well, we also have, Mount St. Helens and Mount Rainier to the south. And I gotta say, I know a lot of folks are so concerned about volcanoes. Washington seems to be about the most friendly place.
You better knock on wood.
But we never really have a concern about volcanoes. I mean, earthquakes are a thing, although for us, there's not that concern. We don't have snakes and scorpions trying to kill us, no tornadoes or hurricanes, as we've experienced in the past.
Well, but the problem is if there's an earthquake here, most likely there's also going to be a tsunami and the volcanoes all going to erupt all at one time.
You know, that's totally a possibility. I feel like I don't know why. My brain does not compute that as a concern.
And I think I read a news article lately that the volcanoes have been rumbling.
We have had big earthquakes, like the Nisqually earthquake in 2001, something like that, and did not have any of the other nonsense. Oh, it's so warm out today. This feels really good. So, I don't know. I feel like Washington is the gentlest, although you can certainly take that for granted, because even though we might not have like crazy winds trying to murder us and hail falling from the sky, golf balls falling from the sky, you can get up on some of these glaciers, which it is the second most glaciated place in America, next to Alaska. But you can get up on these glaciers and take that for granted, and something as simple as frozen water can kill you in a heartbeat. Like it's, Anyways, you have to appreciate it, and respect nature for what it is, that's for sure. It does kind of make you feel small in the grand scheme of things, though. We have a little visitors gallery here, too. But you guys know I love solar, but solar is not always available. Self-admittedly. This will run day or night. I mean, the water, as long as the water's flowing, they're getting power. And I feel like they've learned how to control that. Even when the water level's lower, they can still modulate water levels to keep things moving. It would be cool to have, I mean, not super practical because how often would we actually use it, but it would be cool to have our own form of like hydropower.
Right.
Just throw something in a little stream or, Oh man, where are we going?
We've never done this before.
No. Oh man, we're going through like a little journey here.
Up. Gotta go up.
Gotta go up?
Yep.
All right. Man, we're getting a bit of a workout in here. Some elevation changes. Sheesh.
And the smoke, it's hurting my lungs.
Oh yeah. It looks like they have a little mill here for when they do get some water every now and then.
This garden used to be home to some of the most exotic plants in the pre-World War II era.
See, we're doing a lot of hiking back up to where we were, but I don't know if this is there an actual garden or is it just an exhibit of our beautiful forests? Sure enough, we're kind of right back where we started at the top. Okay, well, we made it a second time. Oh boy. The Japanese maples, we'll consider that the garden. And they are really pretty. They planted them all throughout, so I imagine at one point they really had a nice setup here and a really nice garden.
It was pre-World War II.
Yeah, it was a little while back, huh? Oh, it must have been later than that too, right? But then again, like how important is it to hire horticulturists and landscapers and all this?
Well, that was the whole problem, is that they couldn't pay people to work here. Like they couldn't employ people.
Oh.
To take care of it.
I wonder if that would change. Oh wow, that sure is pretty, isn't it?
So all the exotic plants that require a lot of care you got.
Hey, these are pretty exotic.
Well, they all just died because they weren't being cared for properly.
Yeah. All right, let's go into Gorge. So we are here, and we're gonna run up. There's Gorge Lake, and head up. Eventually, we should make it to Diablo Lake, maybe even today.
There's another powerhouse here and another powerhouse here.
Okay, so the Ross Lake Dam, and then
Diablo Lake.
that's some of the old. Apparently, these are some of the turbines at work. I will say, for whatever reason, whenever we're here in Washington and we start heading east, we love stopping at dams. It's so interesting to see the way that like power is generated.
Oh, hot damn.
But let's see. So we have a reservoir that holds the water, and there's a power tunnel. So you got to direct that pressurized water through, and then you have to use that water to spin a turbine. And inside of there, you have copper coils and magnets.
Oh, cool.
Oh, that's cool, actually.
The Gorge Power Tunnel is 20.5 feet wide. A mobile home turned sideways could easily fit inside of it.
Oh, that's pretty big, actually.
Yeah.
You know what? New idea for power generation. We just need whatever this is.
He was gonna hand crank everything?
Actually, if we just got one of those stationary bikes and plugged it in, that'd probably work, right?
You'd be so skinny in no time.
Yeah, in no time. Woo. Oh, that's fun. You can pause and take a look at this, get your read on. But here's that example here. That's really, so there's the magnetic coils, and I do appreciate that they put fish first here, though.
Well, it says Seattle City Light has some people on staff that you wouldn't expect as a power utility, like fish biologists, climate change scientists, historic preservationists, and recreational planners.
Great idea.
To preserve wildlife.
Sources of, okay, so we even get some in Seattle. Let's see, so we even get some from British Columbia. And then some's purchased, that's interesting, purchased from the grid, 45%. Okay, so then the grid, talking like coal?
Where else do you get power?
Ah, there we go. So we have, let's see, New Haven Powerhouse, Gorge Powerhouse, Diablo Dam, and Powerhouse right up here. Some of these you can only reach by boat.
This one, the Ross.
Oh, so here's Diablo Dam and Powerhouse, and then Ross Dam and Powerhouse. So there's four, actually. 4 powerhouses. Man, oh man, look at the streaks of light out there. Intense. It is crazy. I don't know why, but that little demo with the magnetic coils, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
What if we could, we should try to hook something up to our wheels and then just, huh? Yeah,
But what would we power?
I suppose the question is, right, is like, so say like on a Tesla, could you recharge the battery? I feel like it wouldn't be nearly enough power that would come back in to make it like beneficial.
No, I feel like Elon Musk would have figured that out by now.
However, what about on an RV? Because our power needs are significantly less than what they would be on a car. Cars have like, what, 400 kilowatt hour battery. I mean, huge batteries, right? Like hundreds of thousands of watt hours. Just getting back to Libby here, and there's another fiberglass trailer. It looks like a casita. That's one thing we don't have is like water transportation mode.
I've been wanting an inflatable paddleboard.
Yeah, we got our extra wheels, but that's cool. Yep, little casita. I like the big window they put on the back of those. All right, you want to shut the air conditioner off? I'll get the dogs in the truck.
Yep, come on guys.
Up, 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 up. Come on, Sam. Smelling the fresh air. That must, all the smells of smoke must bother these guys with all the sensitive noses, and yeah. All right, go up. Up. So we've been running our fridge off of propane a little more, and I think with the warmer weather, we ran out of our first bottle here. We just filled up, what, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we need to get some more propane soon. But flipped over. Thankfully, we have 2 bottles. You know, we could swap those at some point for 30-pound tanks.
That would include a nice plastic cover, though.
Yeah. somewhere out there in that haze is Diablo Lake. Can't get you guys a good shot. And normally we would, you know, obviously throw the drone up, but fun fact, in all national parks, it is against the law to drone over. And this is a recreation area technically, though still against the rules. So, you know, one of those things. But we are getting closer and closer to the current burning wildfires. And so you can really taste the ash here. Our truck is covered in it. Man, you can really see it, but
the water's really blue even with the smoke.
Yeah, this is beautiful out here. So I do appreciate the fact that, like, from this perspective, I mean, you see some power lines and such, but from this perspective, you really don't, you know, you don't even notice the power generation. It's virtually silent out here. The impact man has had on this natural area doesn't seem so terrible. It's also, I think, Lake Chelan. We've cruised by it a few times, but it's always packed. It's packed with people, boaters, and yeah, it's not quite as peaceful and beautiful as this. Man. Yeah, I think it's best we maybe grab lunch here. Are you hungry?
I'm hungry.
Yeah, we'll grab lunch here and then continue on down the road. This is a beautiful area. We could stay in the area, but it's
just so smoky. It's hard. It's like tight in your lungs.
Well, in Ross Lake's, I think just a little more northeast of us, and there's a current fire burning right there. So that's why it's like even heavier than this morning.
Yeah.
Yikes. This is home for the evening. Oh, I wish you guys could smell it. It smells like
pine.
Pine. Yeah, actually, I'm gonna raise this up a little bit more. Wait. Yeah, now the site is not super level, but we're level enough here, which actually the camera has the level on it. And you know, for some reason the front looks a little, to my eye it doesn't, but to the camera it does, so. Go ahead a little bit more. And I don't think we're gonna stay more than a day here, so we're not gonna detach. We would detach if we were gonna go check other stuff out too, but man, the weather out here, it's somewhere around 95 degrees and there's a breeze, as you can see, but we're more on the east side of the Cascades at this point. So we looked for a lot of other places to pull off, and there's a lot of trailheads, but along Highway 20, there's not too much. But this is our site. This is very nice. I think it's the Okanagan National Forest. Something like that.
Something like that.
Fire pit, but no fires are allowed. And so we've got a neighbor there, space, a neighbor here, and then it's maybe a third full here. There's another loop as well. But access to the creek?
Oh no.
No.
You can hear it, that's it.
Yeah, you definitely can hear it.
So you can hear it, but it's way down there.
Huh. Yep. The humidity is low here.
The humidity is low, but the heat is high.
Well, I will say though, okay, so 95 in Las Vegas, to me, feels pretty good.
Yeah.
I think the humidity is higher here than Vegas, but it still feels okay. Now, part of the reason that we kept going for so long is we wanted to get away from much of the smoke.
Yeah.
And so by the time we finally found something, we're cleared most of the smoke. You can see it in the distance, but you can actually like
breathe.
Yeah, up there, west of here, you probably couldn't even see the next campsite.
Yeah.
Oh, anyways, yeah. So this is home for the evening. Not bad. Get the bug off of Emma. You can actually see some of the ash and Ugh. But we have some work to do here. A few things that we want to get taken care of, some upgrades to make, and then maybe we'll make another video.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anywho, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye, guys.
Bye.